Hello, my name is Jan. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a serial number for a software application. So without the serial number, the people will not be able to use your software application. Now to do this, I'm going to select Create a New Project. It's going to be based on Visual Basics. So I'm going to scroll down and find out Visual Basic, Windows Phone Application, Visual Basic, click Next. If I go back, just in case for people who are not used to the 2019 version yet. So if you select from the languages, you select Visual Basic, and from the platform you select desktop, and then you have basically here Windows Phone Application .NET Framework. That's the one, Windows Phone, and then click Next. Okay, I'm just going to save this application as my secure app, and I'm just going to click Create. Now I've got the form 1 here. I need another form here. I'm going to go to Project, Add Windows Phone, and I'm just going to leave it the default form 2.bb. That's okay. So I've got form 1 and form 2. What I will need to do as well is I need to go to my project here from the Solution Explorer. If you cannot see the Solution Explorer, you go to View and select Solution Explorer from here. Or the Solution Explorer might be placed on the right hand side. So click on Solution Explorer and click on the little pin. Now double click on my project. I'm on the secure project settings. That's what I need, settings, and I'm just going to call this my serial number, my SN. I'm just going to leave the default volume to sit blank, so I'm going to change it through the code. Well, I could actually put the value here, but I'll change it through the code. So now I've done this, I'm going to go to my form 1, and I'm going to add a button, a text box, and a button. And I'm going to put a timer as well. Okay, so a text box, a button, and a timer. So I'm going to double click, I'm going to select the button first, and I'm just going to put here register. And I'm going to put a label as well. I'm going to say, please add your serial number. Okay, let's make this a bit smaller. Okay, for the form 1, for the text value, I'm just going to change it to my secure app. And I'm going to double click now on the button. So here, just outside the button, just below the public class form 1, I'm going to create 2 variables. The first variable, it's going to be my serial number. So I will say dim my serial number as string. So I want to add values, text, characters, and special characters as well. I'm going to say that is equals to, and then I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3 for now. You can change that, the serial number, to the serial number that you wish to give. Also, I'm going to create a new variable, dim my count as integer. So this will basically give me let's say the value, the default value is 0. So the count will enable me later on to basically refresh the page, and if the serial number is already added, to basically log on automatically the user. So now within my private sub for the button 1, I'm going to say if the text box 1, which is the text field .text, is equals to my serial number, so my variable, if that's true, what I want to do, I want to say my dot settings dot my SN equals to my serial number. So I'm adding basically on my settings, which we added here before, my project settings, I'm adding here this value. Oops, this value here, which is 123, because this value belongs to this variable. And then I will say my.settings.save, because I want to save the settings. And then if that's happened, I want also to me.hide, and I want the form2 to show. So I will say form2.show. So if that's true, then it's going to hide the current form, it's going to show the form2. So let's test that. So if I type anything else here, nothing will happen. If I type 123, register. Okay, so the form2 opens, the form1 closes. Okay, that's good. Now, what if I stop the project, I want to start the project again? It's asking me again for the serial number. We don't want this to happen. So the value is already stored onto the system. So what we need to do now, we need to go to the form1 and double click on the timer one. Now, for the timer one, in fact, let's go back to the form1, and what we want by selecting the timer one, we want the timer to be enabled equals true. So we want to enable the timer, so the timer will be ticking from the first moment that is the form loads, and then we want to change the interval to 1000. Now, so for 1000 is milliseconds, is 1 second. So what we need to do now is double click on the timer, and I will call basically this variable my count, and I will say my count plus equals 1. So every time the timer ticks, it's going to add another value onto this variable. And what I need to do now, I need to go to here, and I'll need to say if my count equals 3, so I want to wait for 3 seconds, okay? My count equals 3, then I want me.hide form2.show. But before I do that, okay, if I do something like this, it will still hide the form and will still show the form. But what I need to do every time it's ticking, I want to make sure that I'm checking that the serial number is basically correct. And I will say here, outside the if statement, I will create another if statement here. I will say, if my settings, my dot settings, dot my serial number equals my serial number, the variable, the serial number, then I'm going to execute this. I'm just going to bring this code out from here and bring it here. So the first thing, before it executes this command, I want to make sure, first of all, that the serial number is correct. So if the serial number is correct, and only if the serial number is correct, then execute this if statement. So once the serial number is correct and my count variable equals to 3, then and only then the current form will hide and the form2 will show. So because I've stored the 1, 2, 3 before to my settings, it should, after 3 seconds, it should direct me to a form2 automatically. So if I press start, 1, 2, 3, that's good. Okay, so what you can do, you could actually here say, if that's the serial number, what I could do here, I could say text box 1, oops, let's stop the project. What I could say here is text box 1, oops, text box 1, which is a text field, dot text, equals to, so we'll say my dot settings dot my serial number. This is from the settings. So if I press start, I will be able to see the serial number displayed here. Can you see that? And then after 3 seconds, it closes. Okay. So on the first tick, it's checked that the serial number is right. And that's the reason why we had a little of delay there. We had a delay of 1 second before it continued to the next procedure. So this is how you create a serial number by using VB. I hope you learned something new today. Thank you for watching.